When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does online business better than Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/income.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is Curl Bro, and I support GenXGrownUp on Patreon, and you should too. And if you don't, I hope you leave enough room for my fists, because I'm going to ram it in your stomach and break your spine. Just go to GenXGrownUp.com/Patreon to sign up today.
No life, no fun. Don't you know that you're a grown-up?
Gen X Grown Up is a YouTube channel, website, and audio podcast you're listening to right now. All made for and by people who love exploring media, games, tech, and toys of yesterday and today through the eyes of Gen Xers who refuse to grow up.
Your dinner cannot just be french fries. Basically, life sucks as a grown-up.
Welcome back, Gen X Grown Up podcast listeners, to this episode, wait for it, 200 of the Gen X Grown Up podcast. I am John. Joining me, as always, of course, is Mo, who can't believe it. Hey, Mo.
Hey, how's it going?
Would not be a show without George. Hey, George, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
In this episode, we watch a new comedy thriller series about an unlikely workplace conspiracy, evaluate a mobile phone accessory to make your next flight a bit more tolerable, and play a vintage Atari game inspired by Mary Shelley's horror icon. We're going to have those topics and many more coming your way in this 200th episode of the Gen X Grown Up podcast. We were talking before the show. You got to remember, we only number the non-backtrack, so it's more like 400 and...
Yeah.
And then with extras, you were saying, George, it's more like 450. That's a lot of episodes of this show.
That is a lot.
Man. Whew. In case Mo didn't feel old enough. Tacked it on there for him.
George, you believe John talked us into it this long?
Yeah, I was just on a panel recently where we discussed that very fact.
Oh, really?
You guys love telling the story of how I tricked you into doing it and then tricked you into doing 2.
Adding more,
And then tricked you to do it for 8 years, apparently.
It's one of the rare things that Mo and I agree upon,
yes.
So you're not going to get to change the history no matter how much you try.
If you haven't caught on by now, you're probably not gonna.
Yeah, that's true. We're pot committed at this point.
Yeah, that's right. Before we get into this episode of the show, time for some fourth listener email. You know, the 3 of us are liable to listen at some point across 400 episodes, but whether we do or not, if anyone writes in to tell us about their thoughts on the show, that is our 4th listener. And the 4th listener this time around is longtime listener and Patreon supporter, Rip Van X. He dropped us an email. Subject line, no jacket required. Okay.
Good one.
Yeah. Just a few weeks ago, right? We did the Phil Collins, maybe a month or so ago.
It's about a month this year.
Yeah, here's what Rip has to say. Dear John, George, and Mo. You're not last, George. See that? You happy about that?
All right. I see.
When I sat down to listen to your flashback episode for the No Jacket Required album, I was thrilled to gain some new insights into the making of this album. Unfortunately, I found it quite distracting because I wanted to listen to the songs in their entirety as you were discussing them.
I can see that.
Yeah, we can relate. To compromise, I decided to listen to each track fully before you covered each song. So we were kind of doing a ping pong, a little back and forth. All right.
Yeah.
This satisfied my desire, and I was able to enjoy your content to its fullest. Yeah, as well you should. I love it. Yeah. He says, incidentally, in 2001, I had a live cable community access show where people would call into the show and sing Phil Collins with me live.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, there's got to be recordings of that somewhere.
It was called, believe it or not, the Phil Collins Sing-Along Hour, though it was only half an hour long. And he said, we sang mostly the songs from No Jacket Required, and Mo, he provided a link, which I've given to you, if you would throw in the show notes so everyone can enjoy Rip Van X's 2001 Phil Collins Sing-Along show. I took a look. It was a video that I watched.
It was definitely community access TV.
It is community access TV. Yeah, it is. And it's everything you love about that era of broadcasting. So yeah, it's exactly that. So thank you, Rip, for baring your soul to us. We're glad you enjoyed the backtrack. He wraps it up by saying, thanks for all your content. Your fourth listener, Rip Van X. All right. Nice.
Feels like if we ever get big enough to hire people, we're going to have to hire somebody to create soundtracks for Spotify for our backtrack episodes when we talk about TV shows, movies, or music, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Just put it together. Well, like Mo does every once in a while for the billboards, right? He does that for that, but for everything. Yeah. Or just give him more work. Give him more work right now. Who knows? Who needs a staff? We got again, Rip, thank you for your email. Fourth listener, if you would like your email featured here on the show, you know it's drop dead easy. All you have to do is fire off a note to podcast@GenXGrownUp.com. We'll read every single one, most of them eventually. Like Rip's, we'll make the show. All right, with a good business in the rear view mirror, it's time to jump into the body of this episode 200 right after this very quick break.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
You're listening to Gen X Grown Up. But if you have a friend who's not yet listening, why not? Tell them about us. They'll thank you later.
Juicy orange, wild strawberry, and now, brand new banana.
Soft, juicy. Mauritius has the ultimate flavors. Delicious. The ultimate bubble has the ultimate flavors. Tastes so like real, they'll blow you away. Delicious.
Let's get the ball rolling right here at the top. We've done it 200 times, 199 times before. This is the 200th. Talking about media we have been enjoying. Of course, this could be television or movies or comics or film or music or whatever. I guess I said the film twice. Mo, I want to hear what it is you have been watching since we last spoke, because the last thing you suggested, I loved and I got into that the movie about the guy with I forget, they had the time travel
the movie
screens.
About the guy in the place with the thing.
2 minutes.
Yeah, the guy in the place with the thing, the time travel
the
screen.
2 minutes.
Yeah, the 2 minute, the infinite 2 minute. That was, and I recommended like 5 other people. So I'm ready for a new hot recommendation from you, Mo. What have you been watching?
Okay, so it's a TV show that just started in October 12th of this year, actually. It's called The Chair Company. I don't know if you guys heard of this or not. It stars Tim Robinson, not Tim Robbins. It's Tim Robinson, somebody else. He was actually on Saturday Night Live for a year as a cast member, and then went from that to writer for the show. Like he stepped back from the show, and he was like a writer for like another 4 or 5 years. This is such a bizarre TV show. It's like a guy, he's in charge of this big building project, and he's like, it's this big opportunity. And he's one of these like high stress people. You know, he's like, seems very calm, but as soon as something doesn't go right, he gets like really, really stressed. A chair breaks under him and is in front of everybody. He's kind of embarrassed. So he just obsesses over why this chair broke. He tries calling the company that supplied the chair. He can't get through. There's no address. He starts doing some detective work. He finds their address in this abandoned warehouse. It's just bizarre. And he just keeps going down this thing trying to find where this chair came from. Eventually, some guy tells him to stop investigating the chair, like out of nowhere. It's just a weird show. It's funny. It's entertaining, but this character stresses the shit out of me watching him, which I guess is a good actor because
maybe they're intended to, right?
Yeah, because he's like one of these people that's like you just feel like any moment he's just gonna pop. You know, that like in his voice and the way he moves, that he like, any second this guy's just gonna just freaking lose it. He definitely is like an obsessive compulsive person. And he has some really good traits. Like he's a really good speaker and he can talk to people, but then like he just gets in these weirder and weirder situations that just It's very difficult to describe. It's only a couple episodes in right now. Go check out the first episode.
I'm interested.
I watched the first episode. I was like, wow, this is an interesting show. Couldn't jump to the second one right away because he just stressed me out too much. I need to watch something else and come back to it because his character just my blood pressure was going up watching him. Because you're like, why are you doing this? It was just crazy. But it's definitely a decent show. It's called The Chair Company.
Yep. I'm interested. I think I'll check it out.
We'll see. Hopefully I'll get 2 for 2 with George.
I would like that. Sure. That was great.
So George, what do you got for us?
So I'm having a difficult time with only using one slot in the media segment right now because I'm watching so many things that are interesting. So I'm behind a little bit with what I want to talk about this week, because then in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have to talk about another thing and it's probably going to be old. But this was something that I mentioned, at least in the last regular episode. It's called Humane. And so this is a very on the news political satire type of movie about the possible end of the world in a post-apocalyptic setting where there has been some natural catastrophe that seems to do with our atmosphere and the sun and something like that.
Okay.
What you learn very early in the movie is that all of the major nations of the earth have come together and agreed to voluntarily cull their own populations in order to make life possible for the rest of humanity.
Few versus many kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. So in America, they have been tasked with culling 10% of the population.
Ooh,
decimate.
Yeah. Now, what they have decided was that for 1 year, they would accept volunteers for this culling program, and any volunteer would then earn a reward for their family who is still alive after they sacrifice themselves. They get a whole bunch of money. They get college scholarships. They get all these perks and benefits for their family. And every week on the national news, there are volunteers of the week who sacrifice themselves, and they give a little brief history, very much like what you might have seen during a wartime thing where they talk about a fallen soldier or something like that. The movie stars Jay Baruchel and a whole group of other people. It's very much an ensemble cast piece. There's not one particular star. One that the three of us probably recognize. Do you guys remember the leader of the alien race from Galaxy's Quest?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he plays the man who is in charge of coming to your house, this contracted company, to help you perform your suicide.
Oh, holy crap. That took a turn.
Let me in. No.
Well, that's the culling, right? So Jay Baruchel is the son of this very affluential news broadcaster who he's coming to his house along with his other siblings and a granddaughter for this special dinner. They don't know what's going to happen. And it turns out this broadcaster and his new wife have decided they will volunteer for this program, and they're going to tell their children that over dinner.
Nice.
The children all show up and they're like, what the fuck? That's batshit crazy, blah, 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 and all like this. And then knock at the door.
There it is.
He's already there.
He's already there. Turns out they weren't supposed to come until the next night, but the dates got moved up or something.
Man, this is giving me chills just like, thinking
This
about
is
it.
not a comedy, right?
They're doing all this
like-
dinner stuff and everything. It's crazy. The wife goes away to go get dessert for everybody while they're talking to the guy at the door. They go, the husband goes back to get the wife. The wife has disappeared. She's flaked out. She's like, fuck it. I'm not doing it. She left a note. I can't do this.
She's absconded. Oh.
The husband decides that he doesn't want to do it, but then Galaxy Quest guy kind of blackmails him with some envelope a little bit, and you don't really know what's in the envelope, but he's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I don't want whatever this is to come out. And he, with his family around his side, has a peaceful transition through suicide.
Oh, goodness.
The family's like, God, that was heartbreaking. We don't know what to do. There's all this stuff we have to think about now because this was caught them totally unaware, of course. As they're sitting in the foyer of the house, the guy goes, okay, who's next?
Because the mom left?
what do you mean? He's like, look, I came here to collect 2
There
bodies.
you go. Oh, no.
And the rest of the movie, I'll let you experience for yourself.
So is this like a slight, there's like a little bit of comedy to this? Is it all like very dead serious? Is it?
They play it serious, but I would call it a very, very dark comedy.
Yeah.
Horror.
The situation seems kind of dark comedy-ish,
like psychological social horror, maybe.
Okay.
You know, because of course the Sibs are all going to start turning on each other and whatnot. One of the Sibs has a daughter who is there, and she's like a 10-year-old girl. They take her out of the house because they're like, oh, she's not of age, so we'll just keep her in the van while you 4 decide who's going to be
Holy
next.
Jeez.
Yeah. It is. It's a movie that you'll probably only watch once, but it should leave
like
an
the long
impression.
walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Okie dokie.
Humane.
Humane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it recent? Is it come out a while ago?
Well, so that's weird. It has a release date of 2024, but I think that might have just been in selected theaters or maybe like the art house kind of stuff or festivals. Yeah. I think it probably just released through streaming just like a few months ago.
Okay. Well, that means it's probably pretty good if it takes that long.
Yeah. It's really solid. It's a good film, well put together, well acted. I think there were probably some points where it could have been slightly better, but it's still a really good horror social commentary piece, in my opinion.
Okay.
So,
yeah. All right.
All right. Talked way too long about that, John. You got 30 seconds. What have you been watching?
And go. It's on Netflix. We'll be back in a minute, everybody.
There we go.
I was looking forward to this documentary called The Perfect Neighbor. And it had a lot of buzz because it went to the festivals and it was aired ahead of time. And people said, oh, it's going to be the greatest thing when it hits Netflix. And so I actually watched it together. My daughter and I did remote streaming so I could watch it together because we love these kind of creepy, weird, true crime documentaries. And you might think it's just another of the same, but it's where it differentiates that I want to explain. The premise of the documentary, this happened in Florida, in Ocala, Florida, back in, I want to say it was 2022, 2023. And what's going on is there's this neighborhood of rental homes, and a lot of these families have kids that are all playing in the empty lot next to these houses. And there's this one woman who, I won't judge her, but I will say everybody in the neighborhood calls her the Karen. Okay, so this is, I wouldn't even call her elderly. They call her an old lady. I think she's like 58. She's not that old.
Jeez.
Right?
Screw them.
You're right, exactly. But to these kids, she's the old lady, and she's very curmudgeonly. She works from home. She hates the kids making noise. And the vacant lot is adjacent to her little strip of land. And so she gets mad at the kids out there playing. She's always calling the police on them to come and tell them to quiet down, to get off my property. Little altercations like, oh, she took out my no trespassing sign and threw it at me. And it touched her leg. And so it's escalating on each side. And you even learn in the opening few seconds of this documentary, it starts, fast forward a little bit, where the police are called and they're like, what's that? Shots fired. We're on our way.
Okie dokie.
Like, whoa. And then we rewind to see this thing kind of build. And you see the police. Now, it's all put together by body cam. Aside from maybe a couple drone shots to show the neighborhood, there is no sitting in a room reflecting with people go, so tell me, how did you feel? None of that. It's all in the moment. And it's very visceral. You can see it coming. And it's one of those things like, well, you know, the neighbors and the kids are kind of harassing her because they don't like her. And you know, the woman is probably kind of saying ruder things than she's admitting. The truth is somewhere in between what they're saying. But as I said, it escalates to shots being fired and a woman is lying on the ground and police are on their way.
Jeez.
And that might make it a good documentary. But that's the midpoint of the documentary. Because what happens next is, because you have all these body cams, normally you would follow the ambulance and then you would go to the courtroom. The body cams and the cops are still there. And you see everyone dealing with what has just happened. The family, is my mother going to live? The neighbor saying the police are coming and they're banging on my door and they've got her in the car. She's in the car, detained, and people are banging on, there's a camera in the car. People are banging on the window. Why did you shoot my mom? Why did you, holy shit, like it's happening in real time. Wow. It's crazy. And then you do follow on and you see kind of the interrogation scenes. And I don't look, it was a pretty popular is wrong. It was a pretty well-known thing that happened in the news back in 2023. So you might already know the case or the story. So I won't tell you any more about what shakes out and what happens. But if you heard about it and you thought, oh, it's just some other true crime documentary, I don't care. It really does some different, interesting things. And know that it's no matter which side you agree on or where you lie, it's going to make you angry on behalf of someone, maybe behalf on everyone, maybe on the state of interpersonal relations in the United States. You might feel bad. So it's going to make you feel things. So
does this, like some documentaries, like I kind of upset me because they start and then you realize that it's not over yet. You know, like whatever's happening is still in process. So they kind of like ends, right? Without any resolution. Does this one actually get to a resolution?
We follow this one all the way to the end of what happens. Yeah, it's not like, to be decided that are currently in negotiations. No. This happened a few years ago and something has happened. There is something resolved. Yeah.
The way you described this documentary all on the police body cam footage, it's very interesting to me because for whatever reason, maybe 6 months ago, I got sucked into YouTube hell with police body cam videos. And YouTube said, he watched one of those. And so now let's give him 7,000 of those videos. So, and I do watch them regularly. Every day, I probably watch 5 or 10 of these damn police body cam videos.
They're interesting.
They are. I mean, they get samey after a while. Like this time, police reported to the airport. Oh shit, drunk passenger. Right? Yeah. It's what they're going to be. But this, I'm wondering, is it because of the editing between the body cam footages that pulls you in? Because the ones that I see on YouTube, it's usually just one police body cam at the most, maybe 2. But this sounds like it's a whole big production of a whole bunch of different body cams and some drone footage, like you said. Is it the editing that pulls you along? Because I can't imagine watching the police body cam stuff on the same subject for an hour and a half.
Yeah. So the editing is part of it. The bigger part of it is it's not an incident. You follow this incident building and starting to simmer and boil over a year, over multiple different incidents.
So there's a whole bunch of call outs for the police to come to this place.
What happened this time? Why is she mad this time? Where were you playing now? Right? It's these multiple 911 calls, and each time people are a little more agitated. So it's telling a story, not just an incident. Yeah. The incident is the turning point, but it's neither the beginning nor the end of the story. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's what kind of makes it different. So it's called The Perfect Neighbor. It's on Netflix right now. You probably already heard about it, but if you enjoy crime, like true crime stuff at all, and body cam stuff that George got addicted to, it is kind of different and novel and does something you might have seen before in a more professional way. So definitely check it out.
The detective said missing kids usually come home. What happens when they don't?
Based on a true story.
Police looking for John Gacy.
We discovered bodies. By the looks of it, they're younger men.
The things he did to those kids. He's sick.
The system failed these families.
Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
Do you know how many there are?
Up to you to find out.
Finished training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
Be sure to subscribe to or follow Gen X Grown Up wherever you listen. And while you're there, rate and review the show too. It helps more than you know.
In 12 years of school, the average parent gives the average child about this many lunchbox treats. Recognizing this, Swiss Miss presents a wholesome alternative. Swiss Miss dairy case puddings, custards, and pudding sundaes. In addition to being delicious, every single one is made from fresh, wholesome skim milk. That's why they're in the dairy case. So take your choice. Let them eat dairy case puddings from Swiss Miss, or let them eat cake.
All right, George, why don't you just jump right into Tech and Toys this week and tell us what you got for us? I'm sure it's amazing.
Yeah, I got a phone holder.
Moving on. John, what do you got?
Yeah, so I was, obviously, John and I were going on a trip to Portland for PRGE 2025, and I realized that my travel gear was woefully lacking. I needed a better suitcase, I needed a good tech bag, I wanted some different cables, a better fast charger, all this kind of stuff, because while I've upgraded things like my phone, as we've talked about on the podcast, and a few other stuff, I haven't upgraded the stuff that I travel with, so I still have the same pack that I've used from back when, we first started going to conventions in 18, whatever. So I went on a little bit of an Amazon spending spree, and hopefully the Gen X Grown Up links worked and we're getting at least a couple of those pennies back to the company. The phone holder that I decided to go with, it's from Ugreen, and I'm big on the Ugreen brand. I know a lot of other people are big on Anchor and some of that stuff, but Ugreen to me produces the same quality as Anchor at about 2/3 the price usually.
Okay.
Charging packs, cables, and this phone holder, which is not just a phone holder, but it's a MagSafe clippable phone holder specifically designed for situations when you're on an airplane. So it has this really strong hinge system that allows the mag ring part of it to be folded and unfolded and twisted in a lot of different orientations. But then the back part of it has this really heavy spring-loaded clamp that is at its natural state completely closed. So you have to really force your thumb to push open this clamp in order to attach it to something like your tray table on an airplane. Mm-hmm. What I do like about it is your tray table can be folded down in front of you like you're receiving a snack, and you can clip it on the tray table in that manner. Or because of the design, if the tray table is up and attached to the seat in front of you, like, when they tell you, we're going to be taking off for landing, you can still clip this phone holder to it in that position.
Oh, okay.
It was very affordable. I think when I got it, it was $14, then immediately went on sale for like $10, and it goes up and down. So if you get it anywhere between $10 and $15, I think that's a fair price. The magnet ring on this thing is super strong. I never had a problem with my phone jiggling at all, let alone falling. So it's a good system. There's only one thing that it lacks that John and I ran into we wished it would have had at the convention.
You mentioned that we kind of used it a little bit as kind of like a tripod enhancement for your phone from MagSafe. And it made me think, I actually have two questions, one about this and one about something related. One was, you bought this for on the airplane, and since we kind of ad-libbed using it at the show, do you think you'll use it for anything else since it has a MagSafe and it has that kind of thing on it? And the second question I'll go to ask you is, around this trip, a few weeks ago, you bought some earbuds that you were specifically thinking would work well on the plane. I wonder if you could comment on that and follow up on how they did for you.
Sure. Okay. First of all, yes, I'll likely use this holder in other situations around the house because that clip allows it to be expanded. I think it's like 3.5-4 inches of clippable space between the clamp. So I can clip it to a table or, anything I'm holding.
Oh, like the jaws of it can hold on to something fat.
Yeah, the jaws are really strong. They've got a nice rubber coating on the inside, so they're very sticky as well. Okay. So once you get it expanded and clamped onto something, it does not come loose very easily. Like I said, the magnet ring is super, super strong, which, by the way, MagSafe is pissing me off because we've had this ability forever. Remember those metal discs that we could have gotten back in the day to attach our phone to some kind of magnet thing, charging? All we had to do was cut a fucking hole in those things and it would have done the same thing, but then they put a new term on it and charged us extra money. Anyway, I thought John was going to talk a little bit about what it was missing on this clamp. It doesn't have any mount inserts for a screw hole for a tripod. So we had to clamp it onto the tripod extension arm itself. Which still
it wasn't its purpose though. I mean,
Right. It would have been a nice bonus feature, and maybe they'll do that in Model 2 or something.
Right. Like, by the way, ... can be used as this if you want to.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. John also asked about those JBL Tune Buds, I think they're called, or something like that. I forgot what they're. They worked tremendously well. When I put them in my ear and was on the plane, I heard none of the air noise that you hear inside the cabin normally.
Doing their job.
They connected perfectly with my phone. No lip syncing problems with the video, like I talked about in the last episode. As a matter of fact, I downloaded a whole bunch of movies and TV shows to my Plex app on my device, so I didn't have to worry about, being connected. And I watched several movies and several TV shows during my trip, both to Portland and back. And as a matter of fact, because of that clamp, when the flight attendant was walking by in one case and, we were going to be going in for a landing soon. She stopped for a second and was about to chastise me for having my tray table down, but my tray table was up. And she was like, I don't have a rule about that, so I guess I can't yell at you, but if you get impaled, it's not my fault.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
So a good solid device under $15. It's well worth the pickup if you have this need.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mo, what about you?
So I'm going to describe what this is first and then tell you what it is. So imagine a small 6-inch black plastic, and it kind of looks like a flying saucer, shape.
Okay. All right.
And sitting on, there's a little hole cut in the top, but sitting on top of it is a little plastic frog.
Okay. A plastic what?
Frog. Like a little colorful frog. Like
ribbit frog.
The
ribbit. Okay.
So it's kind of cool. You look at it, and if you reach and try to grab the frog, it turns out that it's an optical illusion. The frog's actually inside the thing, and the way the mirrors are placed, it makes it look like it's hovering above it, and it looks just like it's hanging out there. I saw it on some YouTube show. We saw something about it, and I said, that'd be a fun thing to get for the kids. Just something like say to come over, have them play with it. And really, you can put any small object in it, and it will look like that object is floating above it, like it's sitting on top of it. It surprised me how good it looks like that thing is actually there. Now, at certain angles, it just totally destroys the illusion. It goes away. But from the most common viewing point, you look at it, it just looks like it's sitting there. And you actually could try. Like every time I've shown it to somebody, the first thing everyone does is try to grab it, and they like the fingers go right through it because it's not really there. Yeah. You can only. This is a very small one. It's super cheap. It's like $10 or $14, something like that.
So it's like purely a toy, a novelty.
It's totally a toy. It's totally a novelty. It's zero
Nothing
purpose
wrong with that.
in the world.
I'm not judging. No. I'm a toy
zero
dork.
purpose in anything except to like distract people for a few minutes. One, though, just the way it works, I guess it's because there's a concave mirror inside, and somehow the way it's angled or arched, it just reflects it perfectly so it looks like it's above the actual piece of plastic that it's sitting on. It's actually where it's actually inside of it. You can do it with any small item. It comes with a little plastic colorful frog with it, so you have something you can put in it right away. But I put like a coin in it, and it looks like the coin is sitting on top of it. I mean, it's really, as long as it's something small. I saw that you actually have like bigger ones, but I'm like, I'm not going to spend like $40 on a toy on a distraction. But
I put my car in there.
Yeah, exactly. So for $14, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
So with all the mirrors, you have to mount it upside down, so otherwise it flips it upside down in reality, or
no? It's just the two kind of flying saucer shells. They come apart. You just put the object in it, put the top back on it, and you're done. That's it.
I was wondering if maybe like you had to like stick it to the top, because mirrors would reverse things and make them look upside down but I guess it looks double flipping somehow.
Yeah, how the physics behind it. I actually looked online to see the physics behind it, and it made my head hurt. I just stopped. I was like, this is just too complicated, because it's like refraction, blah blah blah, and the way it's arced positions the thing exactly right here on top of it because of the size and all that stuff. Zero purpose in the world, but it's neat, and like I said, it's, hopefully I'll show it to the grandkids and they'll be curious enough to start looking it up and trying to figure out how it works. But yeah, any small thing, you just stick it inside and it just looks like it's just like sitting on top of it somehow. And when you work around it, it looks like it's sitting there. I mean, it looks like a fully 3D picture of it. So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
So this is like a trying to make a gateway drug into science and physics for your grandkids here.
That's what I'm hoping. It probably won't work, but it's worth a shot.
It's worth a valiant effort, at least.
Exactly. For $14, maybe they'll get into STEM. We'll see.
Every story you love, every invention that moves you, every idea you wished was yours, all began as nothing. Just a blank page with a blinking cursor, asking a simple question. What do you see? Great ideas start on Mac. Find out more on apple.com/Mac.
Every Who down in Who Newville liked the holidays a ton. But where to get great prices on gifts, they had no idea. None. They searched and they searched for great gifts under $25. Gifts for spouses and friends and even their toddlers. When suddenly one Who shouted, Walmart has what you want, knowing they have Lego, Tree Hut, and low prices to flaunt. So they enjoy the holiday season as Who's often do. Cheering and shouting, Walmart has incredible gifts. Who knew? Find gifts they'll love under $25 at Walmart.
Each episode of Gen X Grown Up has show notes loaded with links where you can learn more about our topics. And there's even more to see and hear over at GenXGrownUp.com.
You're looking at the best dandruff shampoo money can buy because it's been clinically proven best. Testing at a major medical school proved it works faster, gives more complete dandruff control than any leading dandruff shampoo. It's Selsun Blue, the only leading shampoo with the anti-dandruff ingredient doctors prescribe most. No other brand has it. Try Selsun Blue. It simply works best.
This is the main event of the podcast. For the 3 in attendance locally and the millions listening around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time!
All right, guys, time to talk about games. Now, I know John hasn't had anything in a little bit, but I moved his game to the very end of the segment because I think it's probably going to be the one that's most noteworthy. Mine is a very short thing. It's just a demo right now. It hasn't been released, but John and I found this at PRGE this year, and that's the wonderful thing about going to some of these conventions, especially retro gaming conventions, because you get exposed to things that you normally wouldn't find out about because Steam, if it doesn't have a million wish lists, you're never going to fucking see it. It's not like a big AAA title, although the programmer of this game works at a AAA gaming company. This is his side thing that he's doing.
Okay.
And it's called Keys of Fury. So the guy's company is called Elcorn, Elecorn. It is available in a demo right now on Steam, and I want everybody to please go wishlist this game because it's really fun and addictive. Do you guys remember Typing of the Dead?
Oh, hell yeah.
Back in the 90s, early 2000s?
It's the House of the Dead, but with your keyboard. And the zombies have words on them, right, over their heads or something.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Kill them, you had to type out the words or letters that's on them. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, imagine if you had that style of game, but for Streets of Rage.
Oh, like a retro beat 'em up.
Exactly. That's what Keys of Fury is. The graphics are totally bitmapped, 90s, 80s vibe feeling. The words are all randomly generated, but they're also kind of in context of the beat 'em up genre, which is fun. When you're typing, you don't need to worry about speed in this game. Accuracy is far more important when you're playing. And you get to play through like 3 stages and then you get to do a boss fight. That's the whole demo. It's just fun. I sat and played this game at this gentleman's booth probably 2 or 3 times to the point where people had to ask me to stand up so they could try it.
Sir.
Yeah.
Give the kids a chance.
It's very interesting. There are no mouse controls. There are no joystick controls at all. It's purely 100% keyboard, even to the point of when you're starting the game, you have to type in the word menu to go to the menu or the word exit to leave something.
Fully committed. I like that.
Yeah, it's fully committed. It's a brilliantly designed game that kind of brings back that Typing of the Dead feel. It's just fun.
Can you describe the gameplay exactly? How's that work?
Sure. So characters, like you're in the middle of the screen and bad guys come up on your left or your right. There are words on the left or the right of the screen. And as you type the letters of the words, then you start punching the bad guy.
Okay.
Now, if you don't type the word correctly or in theory fast enough, I know I said speed is secondary and it is, then they get punches on you and you lose lives and whatnot. But if you type the word accurately and fast enough, you're just blitzing them, right? Like I think my accuracy on one run was like 98% because I mistyped a couple of keys. It's not a very difficult game. It's a very easy game to pick up. But just like Typing the Dead, its goal is also a little bit to teach you how to touch type, which is a skill that's kind of lost a lot, since the days of typewriters. The way that this one makes you want to learn to touch type is the same way Typing of the Dead did. You want to see what's happening on screen rather than looking at your keyboard.
Right.
There are a couple of instances also where some bad guys throw objects at you and you have to type just single letters to dissuade those objects. And in the boss battle, not only do you have to type words or phrases to hit him, but then when he's going to hit you, these words spin around him in a circle and you have to type those words to make him miss hitting you.
Interesting.
Okay.
Very fun game. It's well worth it. Like I said, it's on Steam. Please go wish list this game because it deserves attention. It's a great, fun game. Elkhorn is the name of the publishing company. He's got a website if you want to go to look at it. He's got a couple of other games listed there as well that I haven't tried out. But Keys of Fury is well worth your time. I can't wait till he releases it. We're going to try and do a live stream with him and have him on the live stream. So, yeah, it looks really fun. Now, Mo, what about yours? Yours looks like it's less of an indie game and a little bit maybe more AAA side.
Yeah. So you remember, last time what am I looking forward to was Bloodlines 2, the vampire RPG game. So I got it, played it, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's meh. So I want to talk about instead is a different game.
Bloodlines 2.
Yeah. It was a different game that was way cheaper that just came out called Dispatch. And George, you definitely 100% want to look at this game. 100%.
Okay. Going to type it in now.
It's many different games in one game. So the cutscenes are fully drawn out animation. Looks like, so the premise is that you're an ex-superhero. Like you're one of these guys that had a super suit and the suit gets destroyed. You can't build it.
I know this game.
Yeah.
I saw this game and was thinking about including it in bit by bit.
Oh, okay. And so what happens is that you now there's a private company that basically offers private security, and all the security people are superheroes or have powers. And you're the dispatcher. So you see what the emergency is. You try to match the right hero with that particular kind of incident, bank robbery, cat stuck up a tree, someone playing music too loud, but that's the company's job. So you send out the right people. Everybody has like characteristics, each of your heroes, and it tries to match up your characteristics versus what it is you're trying to solve. So if it requires more brains or strength or whatever, but that's the only part. That's like, I would call it like, that's the main game. But around it though, is just like the cutscenes are amazing because all the cutscenes are interactive. So they'll do a whole thing with and then you'll get a choice of what response you want to give. And it just naturally flows. Like the video doesn't even stop. It just flows with what you picked. So if I'm going to be snarky, all of a sudden it becomes into snarky, and attitudes of people around you change based on how you react to them. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of the like the Walking Dead games, that kind of thing, except it's a lot more fluid, and the animation is freaking amazing on these things. I've never paid as much attention to cutscenes as I have in this game. And there is a setting where you could turn off all the interaction and you just watch the cutscenes as they play out. You could totally do that, but that's not like, what's the fun is that? I'd rather decide that he's going to be a smartass, and then just have him to get
is it like telling
answers.
A story as you go through? It's like an evolving story.
You're the main guy. You're this guy who loses his suit, and basically the company says, okay, because you have experience and knowledge, basically the people who are on your team are all ex-villains who are trying to become heroes.
Oh, well, that's a neat swerve. Okay.
So they're all like just got out of prison or just got out of jail, or this is in lieu of jail time, and they're trying to become heroes now. And so the company, the carrot is, they say, if you work for us and help us and get this team going, we'll repair your suit for you.
Okay.
And
so
that's,
you can be a superhero
that's the
again.
thing.
Yeah, I saw this game probably in a press release a few months ago and was very interested in it. You're right. This is a game that's something that I would definitely be into. There's only one downside that I'll say, that looking at their Steam page now that I hadn't seen back then before release, they've got the game that you can buy for right now. It's 10% off, $27. That's not an unreasonable price for a good solid game. But then they already have a deluxe edition. Now, I traditionally think of new games as needing time to soak in their own juices a little bit before you're going to come out with some deluxe edition later on that adds something to the game. Now, this deluxe edition is $36, so it's $9 more than the regular edition. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but why would you do it? Why not just release the game in a solid form, then wait a while to see if people buy it, want to do enhancement? I'm not sure I'm fond of this strategy.
I'm trying to figure if I actually bought the deluxe one, because I played the demo and really enjoyed this game. So I'm not sure if I went ahead and just bought it. It's definitely set up like in episodes that are going to come out over time. And I think if you get the deluxe one, you get them all now. You don't have to wait. I think that's the difference. If you're impatient, you just get them all now rather than wait for them to come out week over week.
I'm kind of like initially when you said deluxe edition, I'm thinking, oh, it's probably includes the soundtrack or something, in which case
that's another one.
Like I'm okay if you're getting more for your money, right? You're getting something or you're getting an art pack or getting something.
Actually, that's what you do get that too.
Oh, really? So,
yeah.
But when it releases, that feels like you held something back from the released game for enhanced revenue. It's one thing if you added content later. So, I mean, it doesn't make me furious, but it feels kind of like, kind of sketchy.
Yeah. I mean, I played it.
By the way, Mo, you do own the digital deluxe edition.
Okay. That's what I bought. I paid the $35.
Oh, what you have? Yeah.
So, but let me tell you, it's just a well done game.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say cutscenes, they're like a good, few minutes long, and it's like you're watching an animated superhero thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're done really, really well. There's a demo out, so I'd say go ahead and grab the demo, play that, see how you like it, because that's basically pretty much the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's even other like sub games in it where you kind of like the ones where you have to break into computers and you're like having to do certain keystrokes, like which is separate from everything else too. So it's like a whole bunch of little tiny games kind of built into it. Yeah. So definitely, I think worth getting. Like I said, I'm enjoying playing it. Definitely gonna look at it. It's called Dispatch.
Dispatch.
Because you're a dispatcher. So
dispatching the heroes. Got it. Okay.
And it's even funny because when you go in the office, it's like a cube farm, but you see like this giant, huge, like 9-foot person trying to type in a keyboard. He's like using his fingers and trying to type because he doesn't even fit in the chairs. And there's a guy walking around that looks like a bat. I mean, it's just weird, but it's very fun and definitely has a lot of humor tied to it as well.
All right, cool.
So Dispatch. So that's what I got. So so we saved you for last, John. George did a lot of build up here, so I'm assuming
I hope it pans out. Yeah. So, I do a series on our YouTube channel every week called Friday Plays, where I take one vintage game and kind of walk through how do you play it, what do you need to know about it, what are the nuances and the game options. Then I do I try to play it and see how it goes. And around the Halloween time, I look for spooky games. Like last year, I did Haunted House, I did Ghost Manor, and some other Dracula game. And so this year, I had hesitated looking at this game called Frankenstein's Monster for a couple of years on Friday Plays because I was always of the opinion that it was a poor game.
Why?
I have no good reason for that other than it's very expensive. So like a cart alone is like $50 if you can find it.
Oh.
A complete set is like $230. It was printed by Data Age in 1983. I'd always thought of Data Age as kind of a subpar developer. They did fewer than a dozen games, and often crazy games get really expensive for no good reason, not because they're a good game. So I figured, it must just got expensive because it was a limited run and it says Frankenstein on it, and that's it. But I decided to try out this game, and oh my gosh, this game should be played. Right. If you're going to go back and play Pac-Man and Yard's Revenge and stuff, Frankenstein's Monster is not just a Halloween game. I was stunned by how good this game is on the Atari 2600. So look, anybody can go play it right now in emulations. Let me tell you why it's good and why you should go try it. And not just because this episode's coming out around Halloween. The premise is not you're trying to build a monster. The premise is not you are the monster. You are visiting Frankenstein's castle, and you need to stop the monster from coming to life and escaping the castle to go and wreak havoc.
Oh.
So in the midst of that, you play a little platformer game, reminiscent of vaguely Pitfall-ish, vaguely any number of platform kind of games. And you have a little guy that has to roam around dodging enemies, bats and spiders and whatever that's in your way to collect these stones and then bring them back to build a wall before Frankenstein. There's lightning flashing throughout the game, slowly charging him up. You have like 8 minutes to finish the game, and you almost can't earn points. You get a point every time you bring a stone, but everything that touches you doesn't kill you. It diminishes your points. So it's a game you can finish if you can complete it before Frankenstein comes to life and smashes through the wall. By the way, full screen animation on the 2600 of a giant Frankenstein smashing through your screen. Pretty cool. So the challenge becomes getting really good at the platforming and the bat dodging levels of the screen, because you're only going to get points for like 6 times in the game. Each time you bring a stone, the rest is diminishing returns. Lose 20 points, lose 10 points, lose 20 points, lose 10. and it's a startlingly good game. I could not, and normally I don't say, oh, here's what I did on Friday Plays here on this, because it's just some other Atari game we all know. But I would hazard to say that a lot of people like me, because it's rare and expensive, they don't have it most likely.
Mm-hmm.
And like me, if they were aware of the history of Data Age, you're like, oh, those guys make subpar games. Don't try it. No, not this one. Frankenstein's Monster. You got to give it a try. Maybe seek out a cartridge. I don't say you got to do that, but it's definitely worth playing. I'll give you a link mode to my Friday Plays that I did on it, so you can learn how to play. You don't have to look up the manual. Just watch me teach you how to play it. And then I encourage people often to watch the Friday Plays, see how well you can do, and go to our Discord server where they've set up a whole thread on beating my high score on Friday Plays. This one won't be tough, but you're going to have fun with it. So if you have an emulator running, you got it. You probably already have this game. You just ignored it. Frankenstein's Monster, 1983 from Data Age. And very timely, being the spooky season. So check it out.
All right.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
If you're a die-hard Gen X grown-up, you can pledge your support by clicking join on YouTube or by becoming a patron at GenXGrownUp.com/Patreon.
You got the look, I want to know better. You got the look that's all together, working, playing, day or night. Jordache has the fit that's right. The Jordache look. The Jordache look.
We are coming into the last segment of episode 200, believe it or not, of the Gen X Grown-Up podcast. As we always get to this part of the show, we like to take a second to talk about the things we're either looking at now or looking forward to between now and the next time we get together. And I'll get it kicked off this time. There are some pretty cool things coming up that they snuck up on me. I heard about them and they're like, boom, they're here. October 26th on HBO Max is the new miniseries, It, Welcome to Derry, based on the Stephen King thing. Yep. They brought back the same actor who's playing Pennywise. So we have that. And I think it's backstory. It's a history. Welcome to Derry. It goes back to the beginning of, maybe it jumps around. I don't know. But that whole mythos is very interesting. And so I'm definitely going to check it out, coming to HBO Max. There's another series coming November 7th to Apple TV called Pluribus. I don't know if you've heard of this or not, but it's by the guy who did Breaking Bad.
Okay.
So the creator of Breaking Bad. What's that?
Something Gilligan or whatever.
Vince Gilligan. Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Vince Gilligan. It also stars Rhea Seehorn, who you might remember as the female lead in Better Call Saul. She was Kim Wexler.
Oh, okay.
She was anyway, the premise of this series, though, that's all the other stuff is irrelevant. There's some kind of a global virus that spreads that makes everyone satisfied and happy and not in desire of anything, but she's immune. And so she's miserable because everyone else is happy and everyone else is not ambitious, like they're not taking care of things, right? So this virus around the world has led them to not take care of business as you need to. And she is the only one immune and somehow has to snap them out of it to deal with the real world, because you're just, everything is fine, everything's cool. And it's clearly not. So she's kind of this one woman against the world to try to convince them that everything is not okay. So she has to be the buzzkill, but people are artificially influenced to think everything is fine.
That's
Weird concept and premise, something I think Vince Gilligan could do interestingly. So I want to see what he does with it. So the thing I'm most looking forward to, the release, the Digital Eclipse bundle, Mortal Kombat, the Legacy Collection. It's a collection with a K, as you might have imagined. Collection. October 30th, be published by Atari, put out by Digital Eclipse. It's not only a collection of dozens thousands of Mortal Kombat games over the years. It's also that documentary thing that Digital Eclipse does so well. We talk to the Ed Boons of the world. We talk to the actors who portrayed these people in mocap. It's documentary series of gaming. And if you ever enjoyed Mortal Kombat but were crappy at it, George, the great thing about this collection,
wow. I'm with you, George. Don't feel bad.
Is that they've baked in right on screen tutorials for every move, every fatality, every strategy, every combo. So if you want to learn how to do it, you don't have to look it up in a book or online. It's right there on the screen to help you learn all the cool features of these different characters. I love this franchise, this collection. The history of it seems really cool. So October 30th, Legacy Collection. That's what I got. George, what about you? I know you suck at Mortal Kombat. What do you got coming up on the horizon?
Well, just for that, I'll look forward to Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection as well, I guess.
Okay, you might as well.
I'm also looking forward to St. Dennis Medical Season 2 premieres November 3rd over at NBC.
I enjoyed that show.
That's a great show.
Happy that that's coming back. Very fun office-style workplace comedy show that just has some great people in it. It's just been a tremendous show. My wife loves it. It's very fun. It's one of those shows that life or work or the world might have gotten you down, but you can watch an episode of this thing and just feel uplifted and happy and fun. But the thing I think I'm looking forward to the most will have already released by the time you guys hear this episode, but it's coming out today that we're recording it, and that's Chainsaw Man, the movie Reze Arc. And God damn it, they got a popcorn bucket, so I'm going back in the hole again, I guess, on this thing. They got two, one that's only in Japan, which is the cooler one in my opinion, and then one that's here in America at AMC and Cinemark theaters. But yeah, October 24th is when this movie releases. Because it's a Japanese anime, I do not expect it to last very long in the theaters. So if you are a fan, as soon as you hear this episode, you might need to go get tickets, because if it lasts more than a couple of weeks in theaters, I'd be a little bit surprised. But it was a very fun animated series that my son found for he and I to watch. It's very tongue-in-cheek. There's a whole lot of sexual innuendo jokes in the anime. And what's better than an anime where a guy changes into a character whose head becomes a chainsaw?
Yeah.
That's just freaking awesome. Yeah, I don't think you can.
That's peak media.
Mo, yeah, exactly. Why don't you try and top it though, Mo? What are you going to be looking forward to?
So one thing is Disney's coming out with another season of Star Wars Visions, which is a bunch of like animated shorts that they do based on the world of Star Wars, which are really, because they're like side stories, or they're very cool. Disney Visions is coming out October 29th. I saw another show coming on AMC called Talamasca, The Secret Order, which I believe, I'm totally guessing here, that it's based on Anne Rice's, the vampire books that she wrote, because there was a group in it called Talamasca that was like, that knew of the vampires and was like, basically their job was like to control them or keep them from getting out of hand, and other supernatural groups as well. So that's Talamasca. So it could be terrible, it could be good. I don't know, we'll see. Talamasca Secret Order is going to be on AMC, and that's coming out the 26th of October. So when you hear this, it'll already be out.
Already out.
And then on November 7th, what I'm really looking forward to is Predator Badlands, the movie.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
I really liked the Prey movie that they did. I thought that was that
wasn't bad.
That was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. Looks like this is like, again, it's like side stories, just to kind of add more to the world, and rather than necessarily being like a plot thread, so to speak, right? And from what I've seen, I don't know 100%, but just what I've read about it, it seems like young predators get dropped on the most dangerous planet to prove themselves.
Yep.
And that's basically the premise. And it looks really cool. I mean, it just looks awesome. So kind of looking forward to kind of getting more into that world. And again, just seeing just really see how well they flush it out.
I kind of feel like they've taken that from a couple of Star Trek episodes from back in the day. There was one Star Trek episode where they got dropped on a planet and they had to survive. And then another one, TOS. Can you remember that, John, from DS9?
Yep.
Feels very similar.
No. Yeah.
And apparently the Predator and Alien worlds are well fused now, because in this movie, isn't like there's a Weyland-Yutani robot that's part of the show, right? Like, well, I guess it's no longer, are they connected? Like they're permanently fused.
They're definitely connected now.
Yeah. I want to see that too. Sounds good. Now, before we wrap up the show, I always like to take a second to thank one of our patrons, or maybe a new patron, or whatever we have new. Before I do that, one of the benefits of being a patron, I know, Mo, is you check through the comments and look for questions that people asked for us to answer here on the show. And I see you have one for us this time around.
Oh, yeah. This time is from Joe H. And his question, I purposely pulled out just because it is our 200th episode.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked, like, what are some of our favorite backtrack episodes that we've done? A simple question. I don't want us to go too far down the rabbit hole here, but if you guys want to just throw out like a couple, like John, why don't you start off? Like, what's a couple ones that we did that you really enjoyed?
I always tell people about the Dewey Decimal System, of course, just because it's so kind of ridiculous and fun. Any musical backtrack where, we hear the songs in the context of, those are really hard to edit. They're extra work, but I think they sound so good and people really enjoy those a lot. So those are the ones that jump out at me. And there were a couple that we recorded at a convention. The ones we do at conventions live, those are always entertaining for me because they sound different. It's a different soundscape and people hear what's going on in the show and the kind of real time. And somebody will walk up and talk to us. MC Murr will pop in. So I like those little deviations from the norm episodes too. I think those are really cool.
Awesome. How about you, George?
Well, I know some of the backtracks I like the least. Like, I really didn't like the Monday Night Wars wrestling one because I talked way too goddamn long in that episode.
I split it into two. It was awesome.
Oh, man.
It's educational.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, for me as well. Shut the hell up, George. That's what I learned. I guess my favorites are the ones that we do voting on. I really enjoy those.
Okay. Those are fun.
Because I like the process, as everybody knows, of setting up the spreadsheet and the voting rules and all of that. But I think those are fun because we really tend to argue and fight for the things we believe in those episodes, especially like I think of the movie soundtrack episode. And then no matter what we came up with in our list, our listeners give us something completely different. Like, well, you didn't talk about this. You didn't talk about that. And it opens you up to a whole bunch of different possibilities. So I really enjoy the voting ones. And then, of course, I think my favorites that we haven't done in a long time are the debate episodes.
Those we did was Bad Guys.
Blast.
We did a Bad Guy not long ago. Yeah.
I just really, I really enjoy the structure of debate and the fun that we have with them. We've had a couple of guest people on to help us judge those a few times. That's been a lot of fun for me.
Oh,
cool. You, Mo?
Yeah. So mine are really, I guess, more of the true nostalgia ones I really enjoy. Like we did one Playing Outside. I really enjoyed that one. I enjoyed summer car trips.
Yeah.
And maybe because it just takes those episodes in particular just really take me back to those times. And it's just funny is how we kind of grew up very differently, but we had a lot of the same experience, and that we can still share. Like I said, everyone talks about the long car ride or sideshows or, roadside attractions or things like that. So besides, and Dewey Decimal, but besides that, those are ones I really enjoy. So Joe, thanks so much for that question. Great question, especially here in our 200th episode. So again, if anyone out there wants to get their question asked on the show, it's super easy. Just go to GenXGrownUp.com/Patreon. Little as $1 a month, and your question will be asked right here on the show.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we have a brand new patron that did exactly what Mo just suggested. I want to welcome Ben Stein. Not that one.
I was like, whoa, we're moving up.
I normally just would say Ben S, but it just so struck me like, wow, Ben Stein signed up. I don't think it's that Ben Stein, so clearly. But Ben, thank you for becoming a supporter over on Patreon. We appreciate that you did. Just headed over to patreon.com/GenXGrownUp, opened up his heart and his wallet, said, we like what you do. We want to support you doing it. You joined a roster of amazing people. So Ben, thank you so much on behalf of all of us. All right, that then is going to wrap it up for episode 200, the Gen X Grown Up podcast. Don't worry, though. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another one. And next week, of course, is our backtrack. That's where we pick a single nostalgic topic and dig in deep. Mo, why don't you do the honors and let the fourth listener know what's coming their way next week?
Oh, sure. Before shows like Black Mirror, there was amazing stories. Back in 1985, Spielberg, of all people, decided to bring an anthology, weird, funny. It's even hard to put into a category what type of show this was, but it was a great show, and we're going to be talking about it in the next episode.
That's right. Yeah. You don't want to miss that one. We hope you will join us. Until then, I'm John. George, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, sir.
Mo, I appreciate you.
Always fun, man.
Fourth listener, it's you. We all three appreciate most of all, though. We cannot wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Take care, everybody.
No life, no fun. Don't you know that you're a grown-up?
Gen X Grown Up is a member of the Evergreen Podcast family. Learn more at evergreenpodcasts.com.
Watching shows till sunrise. Unacceptable for grown-ups. Your dinner cannot just be French fries. Basically, life sucks as a grown-up.
200.
Yeah, I know. Jeez.
And it's not even. It's actually 400, right?
Right. Well, and probably closer to 450 with all the specials and bonuses and whatnot.
Left and right if I wanted to. 2 separate channels. I just forgot to change it. Not that I would go take much advantage of it. I just forgot.
Heaven forbid we both be in both speakers at the same time.
It's just weird. I was looking forward to this documentary called The Perfect Stranger. And it came out and I watched it.
Perfect Neighbor.
Thank you. Oh, shit. Yes. I'm looking forward to this on Netflix called The Perfect I almost said stranger again.
You got Balky on the brain.
Right. I guess.